Welcome everyone to another expansion team episode. Today it's the new season, it's 2024, and with the new draft class and with a pretty good new quarterback, our goal is to win the division again and also hopefully win at least one playoff game. Our goal is to win it all. Are we already able to achieve that with this team? Let's see. I already went through free agency and signed Seth Jones, undrafted wide receiver from this year's draft out of Baylor. 85 speed and 85 agility. So he has pretty decent athletic abilities here. Hands not so much, but his work ethic is outstanding. 99 work ethic, 87 competitiveness, and 71 team player. That's not bad, I would say, and I really hope that he can get better and could be a valuable player for us in the next years because he's on a 6-year contract, 3 million. So right now that's a little bit overpaying, I would say, but it's definitely an investment into the future. So hopefully in a couple of seasons he can be an 80 overall. And speaking of 80 overall, second free agency signing Tank Bixby, another undrafted free agent, was the best one available. 85 speed, 74 agility, also on a 6-year deal. And that makes our running back room pretty interesting. Because right now, Bijan Robinson is the best one in terms of strength, agility, speed, and hands. So he's our number one running back. Tony Pollard could now be a trade piece. I will come back to that later. AJ Dillon, our backup, power back, and Tank Bixby now our long-term backup, who's also decently fast and could hopefully make a contribution to the team. I also signed a few backup players after free agency and already made the first trade. I trade away Fletcher Cox, who did not have the best season last year. He was also not getting any younger, so he was at 85 overall, something like that, because training camp hit really hard. He's not on here anymore, but he also did not make any gains. So he was getting worse and worse. And players who really made an impact, Casey Case plus 20. So he's at the 72 overall. His personality already makes an impact in training. So he will be our backup quarterback for this year. Bijan already with a great training camp. And nice to see that William Childs continues to earn his contract also. Really good player, especially with his hands, really serves our strategy. But back to Fletcher Cox. I traded him away to get Derek Brown, who is slightly worse currently. But it's of course an investment for the future. He's on a cheaper deal, so we have cap room again also for next year to sign players. We have a lot of players we need to re-sign, but that's something for maybe the end of this episode or next episode. But Derek Brown, 90 strength, pretty cheap contract currently, did not have the best seasons for the Panthers, but could be good force for us from the nose tackle position. Happy to have him on the team. But the most important player currently is Caleb Williams, 88 overall quarterback by now after training camp. And this is the very first time I will have a career with a really good quarterback. I'm not used to that. So far, all of my quarterbacks were not that great or had their flaws. So hopefully, Caleb Williams could be the quarterback we hope him to be. And I don't want to screw it up. I mentioned last week in my experiment episode where I used the rookie team and see how to win and to see if we were able to win a Super Bowl. I discovered some strategic effects, so I will also do the strategy where I'm using long passes to hopefully reduce his interceptions and use the 84 overall arm, which is not that bad. And this is currently our offense. And speaking of Caleb Williams and giving him the best circumstances possible, I want to do another trade. Not on O-line. Our O-line is or should be the best in the league. It is so awesome. Will cost a lot in the next years, but currently this is the best O-line a rookie quarterback can dream of. Bijan Robinson in the backfield will, of course, be a threat other defenses need to account for. So they can not only cover the pass, they need to take our run game seriously. And Bijan is also a threat in the passing game. So that's one weapon for Caleb Williams. And what about the wide receivers? I mean, we have quite a lot of those, and they are not that bad, to be honest. All around 80, 75, 77. So I think that should be fine, but we don't have a superstar. And I most likely will not have the resources to trade for a superstar. But we can see what we can do here. Kadarius Toney is someone I expected a little bit more from him. 3 touchdowns last year, 600 yards. And I mean, 81 speed, 85 agility should be a little bit more. But with his 81 speed, he's currently, behind rookie Raheem Jarrett, the fastest wide receiver on our team. And if we want to change the strategy to long passes, to have some deep balls, some long shots, some go routes, we need a faster player. I have one very specific one in mind, but before we do the trade, it's time to have a quick preview for the college season. The new college season starts with new recruits. Jordan Gilliland, number 1 recruit for the Cincinnati Bearcats, another QB, great intelligence. And also number 2 and 3 are going to be QBs. Mississippi State gets a new one. And also Arizona State, great intelligence here for David Blackwell. Other than that, the best player in this draft seems to be a strong safety, John Christian, really agile and also really fast. Let's see if he can make an impact for South Carolina. More important, of course, currently Georgia number 1 ranked team, Ohio State at 2. So it will be really interesting to see where both of this team will end up after the season. But first, let's take a look at some key prospect for next year's draft. Let's hope that we can fully ignore the QB position. Both of the freshman players are already here in the top ranked QBs. Also, if we extend that to the top 10, you can see there are so many freshman QBs. As I said, the next few years won't be the best QB classes, but after that there is talent again. But for this year we have JJ McCarthy, who will be in the draft. A really athletic player so far. Started 1 season for Michigan with 31 touchdowns. He could be the first QB off the board. Could also be Quinn Ewers from Texas. A good arm here, and also his stats, 35 touchdowns last year. Will be interesting to follow if he is going to have a great season. Not the best prospects on O-line. JC Latham is the best tackle who's going to declare for the draft. Center might be a need for us with David Andrews not getting any younger. Cedric Van Bran is going to be the best overall center, 88 overall, pretty balanced pass and run blocking. Okay, I know the focus is on tight end and the focus is on Brock Bowers. He is one of my favorite college players for quite a while, or maybe all time. He is really, really good. I mean, 93 speed, 98 hands. Also with this personality, he should be a locked top 10 pick. Last season, he had a great year for tight ends here in the game. Over 500 yards, 8 touchdowns, and also 2 rushing touchdowns. So he is getting involved in the Georgia offense and really making an impact here. If the Packers pick ends up as a good first round pick, Brock Bowers could be a real option for us. Another weapon could be Marvin Harrison Jr., who is not only fast and agile, but also has really, really good hands. He might really fit our wide receiver core. Before we're making the trade, of course, you will going to see that in a minute. But he is also someone who played 2 really, really good seasons. And if he has a third one, he might also go top 5 or top 10. Defensively, our focus should also be on corners, according to our defensive coordinator. Kamori Rogers and Dante Balfour are the best ones available, with also some other decent options. The best defensive player here in college football will most likely not declare for next year's draft. Marvin Jones Jr., linebacker for Georgia, might be an option for the 2026 draft. I expect the defensive tackles to go early again, but this time there could be a real good one. Mason Smith is the best one available who's going to be in next year's draft. The second best defender is Jared Verse, and he will be in the 2025 draft for us. Plays for Florida State and had 14 sacks last year. If he continues at this pace and maybe even gets better, he might also be a locked top 10 pick. At safety, the best ones are freshmen, but Malachi Starks and Jamarion Vane are the best ones on free safety. Malachi Starks also for Georgia, so this defense still seems to be really, really good. He had 5 interceptions in the last 2 years, so not the best stats here. But he's the best player in terms of overall. As you can see, the best players are playing for Georgia and Ohio State, so there is a good reason for why these teams are ranked at 1 and 2. We will keep a look, of course, at some key prospects, also defensively. Jared Verse might be a really good option for us at edge. Of course, I don't know that yet, because we still have 1 season left to play, but with Cameron Hayward not getting any younger, he might be someone we will take a closer look. Same for tight end. Also here, Zach Ertz is on 1 year left of his contract, also not getting any younger. So maybe Brock Bowers will, of course, not necessarily draft for need since our team is really good. But these are just 2 players we will keep a closer look at and follow their season. And maybe have a look who else might surprise us. After last year, Casey Case made a name for himself. So the college season is still ahead of us. Lot of draft movement can still happen. That's why first the focus should be on playing a successful NFL season. So these might be our options. I have no problem to trade for older wide receiver because I see the team in the win now mode over the next couple of years, hopefully, and all those players could make an impact over the next couple of years. But unfortunately, we cannot trade for them. All of those teams are not willing to give up their players. Also thought about second string wide receivers like Mike Evans, who has 84 speed, 91 hands, so he would be someone similar to the players we already have, rather a red zone threat. but he also costs too much for this cap hit over the next 3 years. So, as said, I wanted to have someone with speed. Tycon Thornton could be an option, but with 77 overall, not really sure if he is able to make an impact. Also, not the best stats. I mean, it's fine, especially the first year, but not really on the deep passing game. Could be that the Patriots are just not built for that. But I wanted to have someone better, and I want to have the fastest wide receiver here possible. It's not Tyreek Hill because we cannot trade for him. It's Jalen Waddle, 96 overall. He is on a 2-year contract left, so also pretty cheap to acquire. Could earn a lot after that. Made the All-Star Bowl in 2023. Good personality overall, also decent hands, so it should be really, really good. Also here, player skill can evolve, so he will actually maybe grow to a 90 overall when achieving his full potential and learning the wide receiver position a little bit better. Is a threat here in the rushing game, but had a great last season. Over 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns, and especially the touchdowns. That's what I am looking for. We need more points offensively and also a big play threat. 5 catches over 40 yards. That's really good, and he gives us the deep element we're looking for. So to trade for Jalen Waddle, it takes, or I'm willing to give up Desmond Ridder. Our quarterback from the last couple of years, we don't need him anymore. He's on 1 year left on the contract, so willing to give him up. Maybe the Dolphins need him. As said, Tony Pollard is a trade piece here with his 88 overall. Great player, 2 years left on the contract, but he is not that important for us anymore after drafting Bijan Robinson. And Kadarius Toney, as said, Jalen Waddle is the replacement for him. We have enough wide receivers, and I rather like to have 96 speed compared to his 81 speed. Yeah, so that should be a trade I'm happy to do. A lot more. So I'm also willing to throw in linebacker Trey Flowers, also 1 year left on the contract. Did not play the best season last year. So what about him? Just a tad more. So let's give up our 7th round pick. And with that, we acquired Jalen Waddle, the newest Munich Wolverine. Before starting into the season, there is still one thing left to do. I'm all in, but that does not mean that I'm trading away all the picks. We already don't have a 1st round pick for next year. We have 3 2nd round picks, but still, after watching the college update, you saw that next year's 1st round might be worthy to have a pick in. And maybe the year after that, currently not so much. But as soon as they are really blue chip players, I want to at least have a shot at a 1st round talent next year. So I'm willing to trade away my 1st round pick 2026 to a team where the currently the 1st round pick is not projected that high, and a team that could be significantly worse than last year. It's the Green Bay Packers. As I said, they lost Aaron Rodgers. He retired. They made the playoffs, lost in the NFC Championship game. So their projected 1st round pick for 2025 is not that high. And with this QB room, I'm pretty positive that they won't win the Super Bowl. If they do, at best, we only lose 3 or 4 picks compared to the 2026 draft. But if they are bad, they could have a potential top 10 pick, and then I would be more than willing to hopefully trade a playoff pick in 2026 to now at least have a shot to get some of the Marvin Harrison Jr.'s or Brock Bowers of this world. So let's see if this trade directly goes through, or if we maybe can also get back a 7th round pick that we already traded. No, they want a lot more. The deal is closed, so I assume we need to spend our 6th round pick. Still fine with that. Only the 6th round pick. Still close. So maybe Michael Gore, we don't really need him anymore. Really good hands, but did not progress the way I hoped him to do. So maybe he is the missing piece, and he is. So we have the Packers first round, still hold on to our mid and late round picks, and got rid of our wide receiver number 7 actually. So good deal for us. No first round pick in 2026, but we worry about that in the future. And now we also play the Packers in preseason week 1. The only thing I hope for preseason that no one gets injured. We win 45-0. I hope that's a good sign for both us and the Packers that they are not really good. Casey Case made a good case for him as a backup quarterback. Okay, I promise I won't do that joke too many times. But Tank Bigsby also a great start for our new undrafted rookie free agent Jordan Addison and also Raheem Jarrett. So I could not expect more of this offense. Really great to see our young players make an impact. Let's go through preseason week 2. And we played the Jets. We lost against the Jets. At least the stats are not that bad. No interceptions. That's nice. Caleb Williams with his first appearance for us. Raheem Jarrett another touchdown. And Jalen Waddle his first one. So hopefully our offense gets hot for the season. Let's in preseason week 3. There we played the Vikings. Lost again. And this time Caleb Williams with 2 interceptions. So that's not good. Also not the best completion percentage. Let's hope that this is only preseason rust and nothing he deals with in the regular season. Now week 4 of the preseason, and we won against our division rivals, the Titans. This time Casey Case again with the start, so Caleb Williams gets a bye week before the season starts. And speaking of bye weeks, we actually have week 1 as a bye week, so he rests either way. Defensively, not too many noticeable stats. Injury report: Brandon Harris is likely out for most of the season. That is not good, but nice to see that no important starter got injured. One big storyline of the season is going to be the upcoming free agents. There are a lot of them, and I will most likely not keep anyone below those 89 threshold, I would say. AJ Dillon, I don't know how much he wants. Might not be worth paying that with Bijan Robinson as our starter. Mostly backups, but some key free agents. I already offered Quinn Miners a new contract. I'm also willing to bring back Lael Collins and Marcus Peters. I started with Marcus Peters and Quinn Miners. But when we take a look at next year's available salary cap, we have nearly 100 million left to spend. So we might hand out some contracts. And I'm pretty positive that we can bring back most of our key players. So let's sim week 1. We have a bye week, so we don't need to worry about anything other than training camp injuries, I guess, and see if someone signed for us. Not yet. Marcus Peters did not review that. Quinn Miners wants to have something more, so I will offer a higher contract for him here and also get an offer out for Lael Collins. We have the cap space. I want to keep the O-line together, especially with our young rookie quarterback. We're going to play the Tennessee Titans in week 2 to finally also kick off our season. But this is something we are going to do next episode. I'm happy with the second half of the offseason. Pretty excited for our new addition in Jalen Waddle, how he can transform our offense together with our rookie quarterback Caleb Williams. As said, I've never had such a good quarterback on my team. I'm so excited for what he can do this season. Hopefully, he can help us to make the next step to also win a few playoff games, or actually first get into the playoffs again. I'm pretty positive about that. Thanks everyone for watching, and hopefully see you next week when we kick off the season. Bye bye.